say whatever you want about me. You're never gonna erase the numbers. So whatever company I bankrupted, whatever company I put out of business, it just makes me laugh, bro, because he's talking about me. I don't know if I bankrupted TNA or put TNA out of business. I don't know which one he's talking about, but he's working at TNA these days. So how is that even? Because if I bankrupted them, they're out of business, right? The heat started with JBL, Chris. I'll tell you right now, when I took over, he was doing the new Blackjacks with who was he doing that with? Barry Windham. I had to pull him and Windham aside and say, guys, this is not getting over. The new Blackjack gimmick was not getting over. And rather than me play wrestling political games, I called these two guys in and I said, guys, I'm just going to shoot straight with you. This is not getting over. I don't see this getting over, in this era. And from that moment on, Chris, the dude had a problem with me. And fine. I'd rather be honest with somebody and have them have a problem with me than to BS them.
What would you say to people who would say who would kind of theorize that you just wanted to get back at Cornette by bringing them off of television?
Bringing who off of television?
The new Blackjacks. Wasn't that a Cornette?
I didn't take them off of television, bro. We put JBL in the acolytes with Ron Simmons right after that.
I'm talking about the team, like the new Blackjacks as a team. You removing them from television. What would you say to someone who would say, well, could that be a way to get back at Cornette?
Oh God, bro! I would. What does Cornette have to do with the new Blackjacks?
I thought he was. I thought it was a part of the NWA thing.
No, this was no, bro. This was beef. This was when I first started writing. This was like one of the very, very first conversations I had.
Wasn't he a part of the
I don't think so, bro.
No, Blackjacks was a part of, because there was a few teams that were part of the NWA.
Chris, you'd have to look it up, but I'm almost certain that it was way before then, bro. I don't think they were a part of that.
Oh, okay.
I'm almost positive, Chris. Yeah, that was that. I had that conversation with them when I just started writing, way before the Cornette thing.
Gotcha. When was the Cornette thing?
Oh God, bro, probably 96-ish, 96-ish, maybe.
97. Yeah, it might have been 96.
Yeah, it was definitely 96, 97.
So 97 was the new Blackjacks, and they were baby faces, and then they only lasted from 97 to January 98 when they turned on Bradshaw. So the NWA Invasion gimmick was Jarrett. Okay, I know Wyndham. Okay, Wyndham was a part of the.
Yeah, Wyndham was a part of that, NWA right? Invasion. Yeah, Wyndham was the new Midnight Express. I forgot what. Yeah, the new Midnight Express, Holly and Bart Gunn.
No, that was Holly and Bart. Yep, and then
Double J was part of that for a while. Yeah, they were not a part of that.
Yeah.
No, that had no. Okay. Yeah, bro, that had nothing to do with it. Wyndham was.
But not.
Yeah. Yeah, Bradshaw. We then went to the Acolytes.
Okay, that was the 98 was the invasion of NWA. Right before. That was the same year as the disbanding of the Blackjacks.
Yeah, it was probably, bro. That turn was probably the reason why I did it, to break up the Blackjacks, and that was the story. Yeah,
gotcha.
But no, that had nothing to do with it. It just wasn't working. That was one of the things, bro, that I did not think it was working. I did not think it was going to get over.
So I'm looking at it. Yes, it was the Blackjacks. That's probably how I got it conflated. The Blackjacks. So Wyndham turning on Bradshaw was kind of like a precursor. I mean,
Yes.
right after was the invasion angle.
Yeah.
of-
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, he turned on Bradshaw to go into the invasion angle. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that thankfully for JBL, he ended up becoming world champion. His JBL gimmick, he still had a southern accent. He became WWE champion. What would you say about that being successful?
Bro, it's hard to say. And what do we, first of all, bro, again, I'm not gonna, the numbers are there if anybody wants to look at them. I left the company in September of 1999. And my exact words to Vince were, you have a year to ride the wave. Vince, everything is in place. You could run it on autopilot for the next year. So that was September of 99. Guys, go look what happened in September of 2000. So for him to say like, oh yeah, bro, we were wildly successful without him. That's why I'm not going to argue with these marks, bro, because the numbers are out there. Anybody can go look when Russo and Ferrara left, they rode the wave a little bit and then they nosedived for years. That's why I'm not going to argue with a mark when all you have to do is go look at the freaking numbers. I'm not going to waste my time doing it anymore, bro. I have nothing bad to say about JBL. I did not see JBL's run as champion. I'm pretty sure when JBL was champion, they weren't doing Attitude Era numbers. I'm pretty positive of that, but I didn't watch any of his run. I don't know who he feuded with. I don't even know who he beat to get the title. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea.
I think Eddie Guerrero.
I have no idea.
04 when he won. I think it was.
I have no idea, bro.
Yeah. I think the JBL character when he went like kind of corporate. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
2004. Yeah, he beat Guerrero in 2004. Yeah. He won. Let me see. He won in 2004. So I'm trying to do the numbers. So SmackDown. Let's see. He won it. He won it June 27th, 2004. So June. So y'all had about a 4. See, the ratings were different. When it comes to, there was a formula versus viewership. Y'all got about a 4, averaged about a 4 in 1999. 4.4, 4.6, 4.8.
But is that million viewers?
That was the ratings in 99 with the rating system. So that's more than 4 million views.
Yeah, it is. That is more. That is more. Yeah, that is more.
So 4, 4.2, 3.7, 3.6, 4.5, 4.3, 4.1 was around the times that you were there. And then 2004, high 2s to low 3s was low to mid 3s were average. So it was probably million and a half less people.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I'm, bro. That's the whole thing. Say whatever you want about me. You're never gonna erase the numbers. So whatever company I bankrupted, whatever company I put out of business, it just makes me laugh, bro, because he's talking about me. I don't know if I bankrupted TNA or put TNA out of business. I don't know which one he's talking about, but he's working at TNA these days. So how is that even? Because if I bankrupted them, they're out of business, right?
Yes, they would be bankrupt.
Technically,
yes. They'd be out of business unless you can file different chapters and revive your business. So, I guess he's saying that perhaps if they're bankrupt, perhaps they can liquidate their assets, get sold, and still, be a entity, so they wouldn't be out of business.
Bro, when did the Carters? When did Anthem wind up buying TNA? What year? Do you know?
That was the latter. That was right after Corbin left. That was probably around 17, 16.
Corbin left TNA?
Yeah, Billy Corgan. Sorry.
Oh,
Corgan.
yeah. Oh, Corgan. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So it was like what, 2000?
17.
Yeah. I'd already have been, I was gone 5 years already before that even happened.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, hopefully that gives you what you need to hear when it comes to that situation. Fans and JBL. So hopefully that can be squashed, and that is that. All right, let's
let me just set the record straight too. Right here on Sportskeeda. Bro. And I have the freaking DM. Bradshaw and Jerry Briscoe have a show on Sportskeeda on the Backstage Pass. I have a show on the Backstage Pass with Mac. I contacted Jerry. I said, bro, let me get you and JBL on. Let's do a show together for Sportskeeda, to promote. I got it, bro. I have no reason to hide from freaking JBL. I said, let's come on my show. We'll promote what we're doing for Sportskeeda. Jerry said to me, Vince, I'd be happy to come on your show. Let me check with JBL. Jerry got back to me and said, oh, bro, JBL's doing a lot of things in wrestling now. He's got a lot of things coming up, blah, 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 blah. He can't do it right now. I said, okay, Jerry, I was just trying to promote it, help Sportskeeda out. Bro, you don't understand. I'm an adult, bro. I'm not going to have a problem with JBL from 25 years ago telling him that the new Blackjacks was a stupid gimmick. My mind's not in the same headspace that these guys' heads are in. It's just not.
Yeah, I mean, you've said before that a lot of pro wrestlers don't forget things and they don't forgive a lot of times. So, we shall see if that was just one of those things that JBL just wasn't a fan of, and he just cut a promo. You know what I mean? That happens a lot with wrestlers.
Oh, he's also auditioning to get a freaking podcast with Conrad. So like, that's the whole thing. I understand it, bro. Like, I get it. I get it all. But like, JBL, I'm not going to play this freaking game with you, man. That was 25, 30 freaking years ago, bro. Like, do you really think I think about that on a daily basis? Sometimes, Chris, I swear to God, I get it bothers me when I'm critical about today's wrestlers, but I've got to be critical about them with the job I do. I have to be. But if you ever listen to my shows, bro, I don't do shows about the Cornettes and the Eric Bischoffs and what happened in 1997. I do an Attitude Era review show, and I talk about the shows of the Attitude Era, but I don't go back to burying freaking people that I worked with. That's not what I do. Like I said, bro, I even feel bad when I've got to critique the Sami Zayns and the Baileys but that's what I do, bro. It's no different than, like I said, Terry Bradshaw or John Smoltz, and they're talking about a team or they're talking about a head coach. It's the same exact thing. It's nothing personal towards these people.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp was just he was talking about Ohio State and Tennessee, and then Kirk Herbstreit he basically came back at Shannon's neck. He was like, I wonder what they're going to talk about at First Take. And then, cancel culture forced Kirk Herbstreit to issue an apology although there was absolutely nothing that he did that was wrong. Everything that he said was completely valid.
Yeah.
How do you, we have a really interesting culture nowadays, man, where people just can't speak their mind, but at the same time, Vince, when it comes to pro wrestlers, they're a different brain. They have a different brain wired differently than you are. You know what I mean? They're all about cutting promos. They're all about staying in character. JBL he's a person. His name is John Layfield, but JBL's a gimmick. And so basically it's like my pitch to you is my gimmick. And so pro wrestlers are, there's a part of them for the rest of their lives that's going to be stuck in that. You know what I mean? So you're not a pro wrestler. You've never been a pro wrestler. No. So your brain isn't wired to stay in a particular gimmick for the rest of your life. Now, Vince Russo is an entertainer as a radio host and as a podcaster. There's some entertainment that comes with that. But at the same time, you're not wired like a pro wrestler is.
No.
You know what I mean? You're not cutting promos. They get so used to cutting promos for 30 years of their life that it's easy for them to cut a promo.
Chris, when I first got into the wrestling business, I've talked about this a million times. When I first got into the wrestling business, it literally took me about a month to understand the wrestling bubble. About a month. Chris, at the time, I was happily married. I had kids. I had already owned my own business. I had, many, many jobs before I got into the WWE. When I saw this bubble, Chris, I didn't want to be a part of it. I didn't like that culture. I didn't like, cheating on your wife and going out to the bars and drinking and playing with women's boobs like it was a puppet show at the bar. I didn't want to be a part of that culture. And that's why I purposely kept my distance from it. That's why to this day, it has not changed. I don't want to be a part of that world. I don't want to be a GM on NXT. I don't want any part of that world. These guys are still in that world, and I get it and I understand it. But if you really believe when you go on Conrad's show and you talk crap about me, like if you really think it's going to get to me when I understand the mentality, you're mistaken. It doesn't faze me because you are a character, you are a gimmick, you're still living in the bubble, and I understand. I really do understand.